Hello, guys, and welcome to a new episode of the F1 podcast. Today, we're going to discuss about the Las Vegas Grand Prix that happened last weekend with my friend Mohammed, and also we're going to preview the Qatar Grand Prix. But obviously, let's start with the Las Vegas Grand Prix. As in qualifying, it looked like Lando got pole and he was in a good position. Max was starting second. You know, looked like Lando was going to cruise away easily to win. The his first championship, and that's what it looked like in after qualifying. However, after the race, Max Verstappen won, and the two McLarens got disqualified for a blank way. But let's start with the Max Verstappen victory. It was a very good victory from his side. Um, I think Red Bull, with the pace they had, I think they would have won anyway, even if Norris didn't have that difficult start in the first lap. I think Red Bull would have still won. Verstappen would have still won with the pace they had, with how Verstappen was very motivated to win this race. Um, and yeah, Red Bull looked very, very strong, but you also have to say Verstappen in general looked very, very strong as well. And yeah, he deserved to win. Didn't make any mistakes, cruised away, no problems. Comfortable victory, no problems for Verstappen or for Red Bull. Double podium for Mercedes, for Kimi Antonelli. Great drive from his side, starting from P17 and to finishing the podium, especially with 40 old lap tires defending Piastri and also Charles Leclerc. Great drive from him. And George Russell finishing second, no problems, despite having problems with the steering. Managed to finish second in the end. Carlos Sainz, fifth position. Good performance from him. Great performance from Hulkenberg. Two double points finish for Haas. No problems. Decent comeback from Hamilton. So good win for Verstappen. And then comes the McLaren disqualification. Yeah, I mean, this is like I said before in one of my shows I did. It's a catastrophic mistake. It's a disgraceful mistake. For McLaren, for a team that's won the constructors, for the team that have won so many races, for the team that was getting one twos right, left, and center, for a team that was destroying everybody and up until back, for a team that's won the constructors comfortably, for a team that has two drivers fighting for the world championship, for you to have two drivers uh, disqualified because of your mistake in the most critical time of the season, fighting for the world championship. No, this is absolutely more than beyond unacceptable from McLaren's side, and they knew about the situation. There were some rumors they were this close to being disqualified in Brazil because they also nearly broke the rules in terms of blankware, and also they had that similar issue in FP1, FP2 in Las Vegas. So they should have known about it, but they got careless, they got
Mm.
complacent, and that's what happens to when you get complacent. You get punished, and before this qualification, it looked like Norris was going to cruise away and win the title easily, no problems. He's going to win the Qatar in the title in Qatar in an easy way. But now, because of McLaren's stupidity, Verstappen is back in the fight.
I
So,
would,
but Lando should still win. Lando could still win in Qatar, but at the
he will
same
win.
time, McLaren making hard life easier. So, what do you think about this disqualification of McLaren?
I think first of all, I think uh, that it's a little bit rough. Like FI could have, I know they can't change the rules just for to favor a team, but it could have been a little bit more lenient considering that they had limited running. They had three FP sessions, but they had limited running in FP2. In FP2, it was also raining, uh, so it didn't help. I would say, yeah, McLaren, disgraceful for McLaren for not being able to catch that. But I think McLaren are just pushing the limits like every other team. I think Lando still has a chance. Like Lando's kind of lucky that Oscar did get disqualified as well, and not only him, because if Lando got disqualified and Oscar did not get disqualified, Lando would 100% not have a chance to win it in Qatar. I think it's far fetched for Verstappen. I think it's gonna be a little bit hard for Verstappen, and realistically, I don't want to jinx this, but if nothing happens, like a disqualification penalty or something like that, Lando should be able to get at least P2 or P3, which should secure him the championship. So yeah, I think it's gonna be hard for Verstappen. Hard for Verstappen to extend it to Abu Dhabi, but anything could happen. We've seen this. Oscar Piastri could have a good weekend. We never know. We'll see.
Yeah, as you said, Landa could still win in Qatar, but at the same time, right now he's 24 points clear of Max Verstappen, 24 points clear of Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri are level on points. However, Oscar is ahead of Max because of more wins. But at the same time, like, Lando's still in a good position, in a fantastic position to win the championship. However, this is McLaren love to do this. They love to shoot themselves in the foot. They love to make it harder for themselves. We saw it before. We saw it last year in the constructors when they nearly lost the championship, the constructors to Ferrari, who only had the fastest car for like only 3 or 4 races last season.
Ah,
They
it's
nearly
fine. It's fine.
they
We should move on. I think.
right.
I know McLaren shouldn't be doing this type of stuff. Shouldn't be putting themselves in this position. They keep making it harder for themselves, but it happens. Every team pushes the limit, and stuff like this happens. They had limited running.
But could you also criticize? Could you, sorry for interrupting, but could you also criticize Will Joseph? Because I remember when Lando went past George, Will Joseph said to Lando, push and get Max, do more. And I was like, finishing second is still enough. Why you don't have to win the race? And
I
that's
think
that's it's a
even
bit like it's
the
a
car
bit
was
like football.
yeah,
It's
the
a bit like
car.
football where
Yeah, but the car was like, I'm sorry for interrupting. The car was bottoming out anyway, so it wouldn't matter even if he didn't push. It was they risked it. They lost. I think they've learned them from their mistakes. They've been pushing it the last two races on the ride height. I think they've learned the mistakes, and I've heard as well that the FIA are gonna change this rule. That's directly from Andrea Steller that FIA are thinking about changing the rule when it comes to plank wear. I don't know specifically what they're changing, but they're changing something in the rule. That's what I heard from Andrea Steller. Uh, Apparently, they learned from what happened in Vegas and it happened to McLaren. They're gonna change something in the ruling. It's too late in the season to have an effect, but they're gonna change it for next year. Might be something for next year. We look out for next year. Yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty. Let's move on now. Let's move on to Qatar. I'm pretty excited for the last two races of this stupid, shitty generation that we thought it was gonna change everything. It's just as it was as shitty, if not worse than the 2021 regs or 2014-2021 regs. I think these regulations were the worst. I want your thoughts, and let's move on to Qatar, shall we?
so yeah, I kind of agree that those regulations have been a failure. And yeah, let's move on to Qatar now. I know that you don't want to talk about Las Vegas,
Las
but
Vegas
at the same
happened.
time,
Let's leave it let's leave Qatar. Let's leave Vegas behind us now. Vegas was never a good track for
yeah,
McLaren. It's always cursed. I swear, McLaren. Whenever they do good, they get disqualified. Whenever they do bad, they don't get disqualified. It's just cursed for McLaren. Anyway.
yeah, it is. And before we move to Qatar, I think Andrea Stella, what he said about the blankware, it's understandable because like how many in the last 3 4 years, how many drivers have been disqualified for this reason? Hamilton, Gasly, Leclerc, Russell. No, Russell was disqualified for underweight. Sorry, but Piastri, Norris now. So yeah, it's quite understandable they're going to change the rules. But now let's move on to Qatar. Um, so like I said, Lando is 24 points clear of Max, 24 points clear of Oscar. There's the sprint, there's the qualifying, and there's the race. So what do you think, Mohammed? Who's do you think it should be a McLaren track? But do you think Red Bull, with the recent pace they've shown, do you think they have a better chance to win in
Uh,
Qatar than McLaren, or are you still McLaren are the team to beat?
Red Bull usually struggle in sprint weekends. We've seen that in Brazil, the last sprint weekend where they struggle because Red Bull love to have two FP sessions where they can 2 days of practice so they can go the other day and change the car. With a sprint weekend, they really can't do that. it's a little bit harder. But I think it should be a McLaren track 100%. Other than that,
Mhm.
I, I don't know. Maybe Max could be in the fight here. I have no idea. As I said, I'm unfamiliar with this track. Like the last two races, they're the blur in my head. Like I don't know anything about this racetrack as much as other tracks. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let me get your thoughts then on this track and
Do you
race.
think do you think Mercedes could challenge the McLaren and Red Bull for the victory? Because Mercedes, they look quite decent in Las Vegas, and also last year in Qatar, I think they were competitive in Qatar up until the race where Russell made some mistakes. But do you think Mercedes can challenge the two teams?
Mm, challenge two teams. Mercedes could be in the fight. Antonelli specifically Antonelli, but I don't see them being in the fight. No, I don't see them being in the fight this time. So yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
they're gonna have a chance. They might.
yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know, of course, but all of these, what we're saying, are suggestions, etc. So
Mhm.
it's not easy to 100%
I'm not gonna predict.
confirm.
I'm gonna abstain from predicting this time. Okay. Every
Okay.
time I predict,
Yeah.
something bad happens, so I'd rather not predict. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Okay. So yeah, I think McLaren, like I said, I think this is a McLaren track. This is a track that they should do well. But at the same time, Red Bull and Verstappen are not gonna shut up. They're gonna be up there. They're gonna be strong. And however, this is a sprint weekend. Whereas when there are race weekends where it's not a sprint weekend, Red Bull engineers etc. They do very well in finding which tires to use and how to maximize and the data etc. Whereas in sprint weekends, except maybe Austin, but that was quite understandable because of the shenanigans that was happening in US Austin Sprint, that they struggle most of the times in your sprint weekends. So it can be an advantage to McLaren.
Mhm,
It's a track that McLaren should win, I think, whether
mhm,
it's Piastri or Norris, let's see. But at the same time, don't sleep Verstappen, and I would say don't sleep Mercedes because Mercedes could be competitive as well. We don't
mhm.
know, but I think they could be competitive. Ferrari, I don't think it's a track that suits them at all, so I think they're going to be absolutely nowhere this weekend. So yeah, but I want to get your thoughts on Mohammed. Do you think this, considering what happened? I don't know. I'm not. We're not gonna get back to Las Vegas, but do you think what happened in Vegas is gonna slow down? Like McLaren, they're gonna have to change the rules because Lando Norris said yesterday in his interview that what happened in Las Vegas is actually gonna make them faster. Do you think that, or do you think it's gonna make them slow and McLaren are gonna have to be like pragmatic?
No, no, no. I think McLaren have a very good car, very good floor, which produces enough downforce. Raising the ride height a little bit is not gonna affect them that much. I think, moreover, the McLaren were just trying to just. I think they were experimenting, as they say. They were experimenting the limits. They were seeing what they can get away with, and they unfortunately didn't. And I think it's another thing. Another thing it was, Las Vegas is very known to be not the best track for McLaren. So I think they were trying to, they were on the limit just to get out of just they of course McLaren as a team as a whole are under pressure right now from Verstappen and from Red Bull. So they were trying to push the limits a little bit just to get a tiny advantage, just to be in the fight. But I think they've learned from their mistakes. This track should be more than comfortable enough for them to uh, to uh, to do good on, and I think it might make them faster. They they might just change the floor. They may have another floor they could change, and which could reduce the plank wear, reduce the bottoming, reduce the porpoising, etc.
So yeah, I mostly agree with what you said. I don't think it's gonna make McLaren all of a sudden like the fourth fastest, fifth fastest car.
Yeah.
I think you just kind of because in Las Vegas we all know McLaren are yeah, they improved in Las Vegas in terms of pace, but I don't think they were the fastest at all there. That's why I think they were like pushing the limits and trying to do whatever it takes. But I think in Qatar and Abu Dhabi, I don't think it's a track. Those tracks they should do like whatever it takes and doing over the limit because it's a track that's used them quite well. So in terms of the title race, Lando Norris, like I said, he's still in a good position. However, Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri are on his side, 24 points behind.
Mhm.
Do you still think Lando? I still think Lando should win